I'm Adrienne Pedersen. Today on Upfront. Terror in Afghanistan.
This was so incredibly botched. You know, we're in a terrible situation.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson on the U.S. response and the Afghan refugees who are in Wisconsin. Then, the Speaker's election investigation, why he met with former President Trump. Plus,
it is demoralizing for clerks to have their integrity attacked, I think, more than anything else.
Dane County's clerk defends local clerks. And the coming change in leadership in Milwaukee. Mayor Tom Barrett could be headed for a post in Europe. Common Council President Cavalier Johnson says he wants to be the next mayor. I'll ask about the big challenges ahead.
Taking on the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront with your host, Adrienne Pedersen.
Horror and heartache in Afghanistan. Suicide bomb attacks killed at least 13 U.S. troops and dozens of Afghans.
We will not forgive. We will not forget.
President Biden vowed to hunt down those responsible and continue the mission to withdraw. ISIS-K says they were behind the attack, which came as the U.S. scrambled to evacuate thousands of American citizens and Afghan allies from the Taliban-controlled country. Some Afghan refugees have arrived at Wisconsin's Fort McCoy, that's in Monroe County. Republican Senator Ron Johnson led a delegation of Republican state lawmakers for a tour and briefing there last week. We're talking about the latest now with Senator Johnson. Senator, thank you for joining us. I do want to get back to Fort McCoy, but kind of first things first. After the absolute tragedy that's going on in Afghanistan, how confident are you, after talking to people on the ground, that we'll be able to get Americans and our Afghan allies out safely?
Unfortunately, I'm not overly confident. This is a tragedy. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the bombing, their family, their friends. We are relying on the Taliban for the outer perimeter security. Obviously, they're not particularly effective at doing it. Hard to say how much security they really want to provide here. But, you know, the real problem here is this didn't have to happen. This type of withdrawal was so incredibly incompetent. This was so incredibly botched. And now, you know, we're in a terrible situation.
What
Again,
would you have done differently?
On the Taliban to help us successfully conclude this withdrawal. I don't have a great deal of faith in it.
Senator, what would you have done differently in this situation?
Well, first of all, you would have planned on things. You know, when I was at Fort McCoy, I know President Biden has famously said they'd planned on every contingency. So I asked the commanding general, you know, when was the first time you heard that you were going to be charged with this mission of bringing in Afghanistan refugees? He said literally 10 days ago. That's not a whole lot of pre-planning. So what we should have done, first of all, I never agreed either with President Trump or President Biden that we should completely withdraw from Afghanistan. By the way, nor did our NATO allies, nor did probably a majority of people on Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I think there would have been a great deal of support to leave a small contingent of special operation personnel to provide support for the Afghan security forces. That they are the people that have been fighting and dying for their country, for their freedom. And with U.S. support, they were keeping the Taliban at bay. But again, the decision was made to bug out. And as a result, what we should have done is we should have really planned. We should not have given up Bagram Air Force Base. We should have identified the special immigrant visa holders, the people that did fight side by side that are in grave peril being slaughtered by the Taliban. We should have rounded up any U.S. citizen that wanted to get out of there. And we should have done that months ago, not days before the planned withdrawal. So again, this was so incompetently planned, carried out. I mean, this is just a travesty. It's a tragedy.
And Senator, you toured Fort McCoy, where the Afghan refugees are being housed in Wisconsin. You asked a lot of questions about the vetting process. So I want to play a clip from that press conference, and then I'll ask you a follow-up. So let's listen to this.
Understand how disorganized, understand the potential danger. Again, who do you think this Taliban is letting into and through the gates of the Kabul airport? Just ask yourself that question. And that's what I'm asking the folks here on the ground to ask themselves that question too, and be on guard for that possibility.
So, Senator, what proof or evidence do you have that people are just getting into the U.S. without being properly vetted?
Well, first of all, what we're hearing are people involved in the operation that are so concerned about the security lapses that are giving us a completely different story than what the administration is talking about, that everybody has been biometrically screened. What does that mean? How do you biometrically screen, and what do you compare? How many Taliban fighters, how many ISIS fighters are going to be in some database with biometric information? So what we are hearing is different than what we're hearing from the administration. And so all I was talking to the commanding general and the representatives from DHS and Department of State is that they need to be very watchful, because we are getting a different story of greater chaos on the ground. Unfortunately, potentially this administration just playing a numbers game, just, filling up airplanes and getting people out of there. We've heard from people on the ground that a lot of these people have no ID whatsoever.
But when you say we're hearing from people, what positions are these people in to know that that is for sure what's going on? Because like you said, Governor Evers, he was at Fort McCoy with refugees. He vouched for the vetting process. He talked to some of the refugees. The senior administration official, as you mentioned, they said they're doing these security screenings and that they're not letting these people into the United States. And your connotation is that dangerous people are coming to Wisconsin. So how do you back that up? And if you really think that's the case, what are you doing about it?
Well, first of all, I have acknowledged, I think the vast majority of people that will be coming over here are coming here for the right reason. But and I also believe that the goal is to successfully integrate the Afghanis that fought side by side, that risked their lives, kept Americans safe and alive. That should be our overall goal. And what I'm cautioning is we will destroy that mission of successful integration of those people from Afghanistan with one failure. If somebody slips through and commits an act of terror, and then that will paint everybody with a broad brush. And I don't want to see that happen. So again, what I'm hearing on the ground, for example, late Thursday night, we got word. I'd already talked to this individual earlier Thursday morning, but then this went public, that a number of busloads of people coming to one of the other gates at the Kabul airport, 100 Christians, 25 U.S. citizens, other children of individuals that were helping evacuate people out of Afghanistan, they were turned away from Kabul airport.
But how does that back up the claim that terrorists could be coming in? They're working for an
organization trying to evacuate people. This is what we're hearing, and it's at odds with what the administration is telling us. So again, all I'm saying, and all I was asking the commanding general of Fort McCoy is be aware of the fact that there may be some issues, and make sure that before we release anybody into the United States, that we are 100%, as close to 100% sure that these are people we want in the United States.
Senator, I do want to ask you, and I'm going to ask you this probably every time I talk to you until we have a response, but in light of everything going on, has that influenced you at all? Do you know if you'll run for re-election?
Listen, these campaigns are way too long. They cost way too much money. I have plenty of time to make that decision, and I've not made that decision yet.
Do you have a timeline that you could share with us when you'll know and when you'll be making that public?
No, I have a timeline in my head, but nothing I need to share at this point in time.
Okay, we'll keep following up with you. Senator Johnson, thank you.
Have a good day.
Coming up, the Speaker meets the former president, the latest on the Speaker's election investigation. And I'll ask Dane County's clerk if he'd be willing to turn over voting machines for examination.